Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head to the movies. Screen Director's Playhouse production of Stagecoach, starring John Wayne in his original screen role. This was from 73 years ago, January 9th, 1949. And we thank you for tuning in on this Sunday, 9th day of January, 9th day of the year, 357 days remaining. Happy birthday, Connecticut. You became the 5th state to join the Union in 1788. Jean-Pierre Blanchard became the first to fly in a balloon in the U.S. in 1793. The Fort Tejon earthquake of California on this date in 1857, estimated 7.9 magnitude quake. Anson Jones, the final president of the Republic of Texas, committed suicide in 1858. In 1861, the Star of the West incident occurred near Charleston, South Carolina, considered to be the first shots of the Civil War. In 1861, on this date also, Mississippi became the second state to secede from the Union before the outbreak of the war. New England Telephone and Telegraph installed the first battery-operated telephone switchboard on this date in 1894. And the Seeing Eye established in Nashville on this date in 1929 with the mission to train dogs for assisting the blind. In 1951, UN headquarters officially opened in New York City. In 1972, the Queen Elizabeth destroyed by fire in Victoria Harbor. The iconic comedy album by Steve Martin, Let's Get Small, was released.
I'm on drugs. I mean, you know what it is. It's a deal, man. I love to get small. It's a wild, wild drug. Very dangerous for kids, though, because they get really small. I knew I shouldn't get small when I'm driving, but I was driving around the other day, and a cop pulls me over. And he goes, "Hey, are you small?" I said, "No, I'm tall. He said, "Well, I'm going to have to measure you. I got a little test they gave you. It's a balloon. And if you can get inside of it, they know you're small."
The album would begin a national catchphrase with this exaggerated, "Excuse me." After losing a patent battle with Polaroid, Kodak left the instant camera business back in 1986. You know those cameras you see, those Kodak instant cameras? They aren't worth anything. They're not even worth the plastic they're made out of. The Department of Justice announced it would pursue a criminal investigation of Enron in 2002. The Phantom of the Opera surpassed the record set by Cats for the longest-running show on Broadway in 2006. And Apple CEO Steve Jobs introduced the original iPhone at a Macworld conference in San Francisco. Passing away on this date in history, Arthur Lake, Dagwood Bumstead in the Blondie and Dagwood movies. Also, actor, satirist, writer, comedian Peter Cook, and actor Jesse White, another one of the Maytag repairmen. Born on this date in history, this was Blondie's author, the cartoonist Chick Young. Also, the Rosary Priest, Father Patrick Peyton, burlesque performer Gypsy Rose Lee, Fernando Lamas, the man who wrote the music for Green Acres and the Addams Family, Vic Mizzy, actor Lee Van Cleef, Scruples author Judith Krantz, Bob Denver, remember him from Gilligan's Island and also from Dobie Gillis, actor-singer Jimmy Boyd, and President Richard Nixon.
My fellow Americans, let us therefore unite as a nation in a firm and wise policy of real peace. Not the peace of surrender, but peace with honor. After 5 years of Americans going into Vietnam, we are finally bringing American men home. People have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
Just think how much you're going to be missing. You don't have Nixon to kick around anymore.
Nixon resigning in disgrace, and the only president to do so, Richard Nixon, born on this date in history. Singer-activist Joan Baez, 81. Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page is 78. Loretta Lynn's younger sister, Crystal Gale, 71. From Law & Order, Spider-Man J. Jonah Jameson there, and the Farmers Insurance commercials, and in the Being the Ricardos movie, J.K. Simmons, 67. He plays William Frawley in that. Also singer-musician Dave Matthews, 55. From Chasing Amy, Joey Lauren Adams, 54. Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, is 40. And from The Vampire Diaries, Nina Dobrev is 33. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 9th day of January is their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you!
From 73 years ago, the Screen Directors Playhouse production of Stagecoach, starring John Wayne, from January 7th, 1949, on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater. Well, you've heard me talk about Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and how his pillow's given me a great night's sleep. He continues to roll out new offers on his products. His latest on the towel sets. Now, towels aren't something you think about. I never knew what I was missing till I tried the towels last year. You've all helped build MyPillow into the incredible company it is today, and trust in Mike Lindell has given you a better night's sleep. Mike's now changing the game with a 6-piece towel set, USA cotton, extremely absorbent, yet still providing that soft feel you look for in the towel. 2 bath, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths for a limited time, $39.95. Using our promo code USA, it retails for over $100. Remember, all MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Square, use this promo code USA to get this price of $39.99 on the towels, or call 1-800-951-8175. We go back 73 years on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater, January 9th, 1949, Screen Directors Playhouse.
The NBC Theater presents...
Screen Directors Guild assignment, production Stagecoach, director John Ford, stars John Wayne, Claire Trevor, Ward Bond.
This is the Screen Directors Guild production of the United Artists motion picture classic Stagecoach, starring John Wayne, Claire Trevor, and Ward Bond, and introducing the director of the film, John Ford. Before we begin our story, here are a few words about the entertainment you will hear tonight and in future weeks at this time. The NBC Theater is proud to welcome the president of the Screen Directors Guild and the eminent director of such films as Variety Girl, The Perils of Pauline, and Taproots, Mr. George Marshall.
Thank you and good evening. This is the first performance of a series of Screen Directors Guild productions in which the directors will personally bring you their favorite film assignments, along with the stars who created the original roles. Tonight, your director is John Ford. John, if you remember, is the winner of 5 Academy Awards, the guiding hand behind such great pictures as The Informer, How Green Was My Valley, and, of course, Stagecoach. You're on the set, John.
Thank you, George. And good luck on our first production. Stagecoach is ready to roll. The last time I made that crack was about 10 years ago. And I first had the opportunity of putting on film this Romance of the West. For the cast, the picture offers an array of colorful character types, ripe for the actor's talents. Now the story and the cast are united again. Here is Stagecoach with John Wayne as the Ringo Kid, Claire Trevor as Dallas, and Ward Bond as Doc Boone. In 1885, the stagecoach was the only means of travel on the American frontier. And in those days, no name struck more dread into the hearts of travelers than Geronimo, leader of the warlike Apaches. This, folks, is a story of a party of people who traveled from Tonto to Lordsburg by stagecoach in 1885. It's a story still told by the Indians.
In the land of Arizona, land of the Apache Indian, where the roaming Chiricahua fought the mighty white invader, stood the white man's city, Tonto. Tonto, where the flying wagon that the white man called the stagecoach stopped to take men to the westward, where Geronimo was leader, chief of the Apache Indian nation.
Well, that's how it is, folks. Geronimo's Apaches are on the warpath up ahead, burning every ranch in sight.
Then the question before the party assembled in this stagecoach is, shall we continue?
I say yes. Continue.
But, Mrs. Mallory, should you be traveling in your condition?
My husband is in Apache Wells with his troops. I want to be with him when our baby arrives.
Madam, I am a gambler, and I admire and respect a bold gamble. But aren't you gambling with a life besides your own?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Mr. Hatfield. We're getting a cavalry escort for Apache Wells.
That settles it. I'm going on.
Count me in, of course, Buck.
All right. I'll go find my shotgun guard.
You don't have to go no further, Buck.
What? Curly! Well, doggone. How are you, Sheriff?
Fine, thanks, and I'll be riding shotgun up next to you this trip, Buck.
You? What for?
The Ringo Kid escaped from prison. I'm looking for him.
The fellow who shot Jed Michael dead?
I hear he's heading for Lordsburg to shoot it out with the 3 Plummer Boys, so I'll be right up there next to you, Buck, all the way to Lordsburg.
There she comes, topping the hill now. There comes the stagecoach. Better stand back a bit, Doc.
Yeah, stand out of the road there, Dallas girl.
Thanks, Doc.
Hail the stage-brush chariot.
Doc, why do I have to leave town? Because all these women here say I have to. I don't want to go to Lordsburg.
No more do I, Dallas. But you are a lady somewhat too hospitable to gentlemen. And I am a doctor somewhat too hospitable to spirits. We, girl, are the dregs of Tonto. They send us from their midst. Come, Dallas, be a glorified dreg like me. Hi there, Buck. You have acquired 2 more eager passengers.
The engines are rising, Doc.
I thank them for that mark of respect. Tell them they may be seated now. Enter, Dallas.
Thanks, Doc.
Take your place beside the other lady. Then forward. On to Lordsburg.
Watch you driving through this canyon, Buck.
Well, I aim to be hard to shoot at in case Geronimo's Apaches are in these hills.
I'm with you, Buck. The law.
That don't make me bulletproof. Down, Kingdom High. Here she comes, Apaches.
Keep your shirt on and stop the coach. It ain't Apaches. There's someone up ahead blocking the road with a rifle.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Here he comes, whoever he is.
What? It's the Ringo Kid.
That's right, Buck. Hiya, Curly.
Ringo,
Didn't expect to find the sheriff riding shotgun.
I was heading for Lordsburg, same as you, Ringo.
Well, my horse went lame, so you got another passenger.
I'll take that rifle first, Ringo.
That's so, Sheriff.
You're under arrest for the murder of Jed Michael.
Sorry, Curly, but this Winchester here says different.
Sorry, Ringo, but if you'll look back up the road a piece, you'll see our escort of United States Cavalry coming up.
Oh.
I'll take that rifle now, Ringo.
Sure, Sheriff. But you better hold on to it. You may need it before we get to Lordsburg.
Thanks. You can get into the coach now.
Much obliged, Sheriff.
Get going, Buck.
Yep. Shoot it. Yep. Nelly.
So you're the famous Ringo Kid, huh?
My friends call me Ringo. Right name's Henry.
Henry? Why, I remember you. Say, I fixed your arm when you was just a little sprout. You was no higher than a quart of bourbon.
Now, that was my kid brother broke his arm. You did a good job, too, Doc, even if you was drunk.
Well, thank you, son. How's your brother now?
He was murdered.
Oh, no.
Him and my dad, by the 3 Plummer Boys.
Well, good luck when you get to Lordsburg, son.
Thanks, Doc.
Mrs. Mallory, you're tired. Would you like to rest your head on my shoulder?
No, thank you. Mr. Hatfield, would you mind if I sat over on your side of the coach?
Not at all, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Yes, of course.
Right here, Mrs. Mallory.
Thank you, Mr. Hatfield.
I must have the plague, huh, Dallas?
You? Oh, no, it's not you.
Have a drink, Hatfield?
No, thank you.
No, thank you, he says. Have a drink, Doc? Yes, thank you.
You're not going to move away from me, are you?
No, Ringo.
Well, I guess I can't expect to break out of prison and into society in the same week.
Shh, she'll hear you.
I guess I'm pretty dumb for sitting down beside a lady like you, Dallas.
Lady.
Thanks for not moving.
Oh, don't, please. Why are you looking at me like that?
Ain't I seen you someplace before?
No, you haven't.
I wish I had, though.
I know you. I know who you are.
Yeah, I used to be a good cowhand. A few years back. Things happened.
Yes, things happen.
Bottle in a bottle. Drink up, Doc.
Doc's getting a snoot full.
Things happen. And now they'll take you back to prison.
Not till I finish a job in Lordsburg.
Ringo, I wish you wouldn't.
Wish I wouldn't what?
Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Bottle in a bottle.
Confound that driver. Why doesn't he drive more carefully?
He's playing it smart, Hatfield. He took to the mountains. Apaches don't like snow.
Well, he might have some consideration for Mrs. Mallory and her condition.
Oh, I'll be all right, Mr. Hatfield. Thank you.
Bottle in a bottle.
Apache Wells just ahead. Apache Wells.
Bottle in a bottle.
Mr. Hatfield, why didn't my husband and his troops meet us here?
The Wrangler tells me that Captain Mallory has been sent ahead to Lordsburg.
Lordsburg?
Well, we'd better turn around and follow the cavalry escort to Tonto.
But we can't do that.
With Apaches on the warpath, it ain't safe to go through Apache country without an escort. I say we ought to turn back.
There's only one way to find out. Take a vote.
What do you say, Mrs. Mallory? On to Lordsburg or back to Tonto?
I want my husband with me when our baby's born.
Doc?
Ain't you forgot this lady?
You mean Dallas?
Oh, I say go. I've nothing to go back to.
Doc?
Lordsburg. Pass the bottle.
Ringo?
Ringo's my prisoner. I'm voting his proxy. I say Lordsburg.
Hatfield?
I am at the service of Mrs. Mallory.
Thank you.
Buck?
Lordsburg it is. Well, let's all step inside and get some grub. Looks spry.
Better take my arm up these steps, Mrs. Mallory.
Oh, no, thank you. Really, I'm quite... I'm quite... Oh.
Mrs. Mallory.
She fainted.
I've got her. Dr. Boone. Mrs. Mallory needs your help.
Who? What?
Oh, it's no use. He's drunk. Ringo.
Yeah?
I don't know for sure, but I think you better go inside and start heating some water.
All you want and then some. And then some.
Carry her inside, Mr. Hatfield.
Oh, allow me. Allow me.
I'll carry her myself, you sot.
Thank you, sir.
You drunken swine.
Thank you.
Now, if you'll open the door for me, Dallas.
Yes.
Drunken swine of a doctor.
Doc, honest, ain't you ashamed?
Did I understand that swine to call me a drunken swine?
Oh, I wish I could do something.
There is something you can do, Buck.
Yeah, but what can you do in your condition?
I can drink all of the hot black coffee you can make. I, sir, am a doctor. Now get busy. Get busy.
From January 9th, 1949, the Screen Directors Playhouse on Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. Coming up next, the news from 73 years ago and the conclusion of Stagecoach.
What does it mean to be an American? Just what are our American values? Working hard to succeed, loving God, country, and family, being honest, strong, and compassionate.
Supporting our Constitution and recognizing that we are blessed to be living in America, the greatest country in the world.
Our Bill of Rights protects us, our freedoms of worship, speech, and privacy, our right to own firearms, our right to trial by jury,
our right to be free, to live our own lives without some bureaucrat telling us what to do. Most countries don't have these rights.
Want to know more? It's all there in the book. Get your own free book, The U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Then read it again, and this time share it with your friends. Our great Constitution is the basis of all of our freedoms, our inalienable rights. Get your own copy at freeusbook.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station in an episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse Stagecoach, as it was originally broadcast Sunday, January 9th, 1949. In the newspapers of that Sunday 73 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Senator Arthur H. Vandenberg of Michigan and other leading Republicans yesterday demanded a full investigation of Dean Acheson before the Senate approves his nomination as the new Secretary of State. Though there appeared no immediate threat to Senate confirmation of General George C. Marshall's successor, senators demanded full disclosure on these points. One, Acheson's attitude toward the Soviet Russia and the East-West Cold War, plus his viewpoint on State Department officials described by some critics as security risks, his law firm's connection with communist government of Poland, and Acheson's personal relations with Alger and Donald Hiss, who have been charged with membership in a pre-war undercover communist ring. A tearful Vicki Jeannie Snyder came home yesterday across to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. A cross-country tug-of-war between her mother and grandparents for her custody appeared to be too much for the 3-year-old tot. The chestnut-haired child first smiled and then burst into tears as she left the arms of grandfather Harry Snyder to be clasped by grandmother Snyder at the Harrisburg airport. Snyder brought the child from Los Angeles by plane. A Republican lawmaker complained yesterday that President Truman's spending program cannot be fulfilled without inviting bankruptcy. Another declared the Democrats have sunk the bipartisan foreign policy by grabbing top-heavy control of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. The complaint about spending came from Halleck of Indiana, who was the Republican floor leader last session when his party was in the majority. The government warned yesterday that it will require more regulation or better scientific techniques to make room for all the radio, television, and shortwave broadcasters who wanted to be heard or seen. A note of alarm sounded by the Federal Communications Commission in its 14th annual report on its job of policing the ether. The commission said that by mid-1948 there were 131,000 authorized radio stations elbowing each other for room in the spectrum, plus some 150,000 mobile stations such as aeronautical, marine, radar, police, fire, and railroad units. Taxicab companies in cities all over the country use about 3,000 stations to speed up service, and about the same number used in general industry. Last year, a Texan wanted a radio license for his diaper pickup service, and a Chicago cemetery asked for one to direct funeral cortèges. 4 British planes and a 5th plane identified as Egyptian shot down by the Jewish Air Force and anti-aircraft units in fighting over the Israeli-Egyptian border. In London, the British Air Ministry said Israel shot down 5 RAF fighter planes patrolling over Egypt and gave British flyers the go-ahead to fight back. Not long afterwards, British representatives to the UN Security Council delivered in New York a strong protest to the ranking Israeli representatives to the UN. Arthur Lurie, the Israeli representative, refused, however, to transmit the protest to Tel Aviv because it was not addressed to the Israeli government. Britain has not recognized the new state of Israel. The protest used the words Jewish authorities at Tel Aviv. Well, what a difference a few weeks makes. In Canaan, Connecticut, there was sunstroke here yesterday. 3 weeks ago, Canaan gripped by sub-zero weather. The sunstroke victim, 24-year-old Lester Delone, who was stricken while working on a garage roof. He fell about 8 feet into soft dirt, spraining his left arm. And Dr. John Elliott said it was sunstroke, all right. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, January 9th, 1949. On your radio, the Screen Director's Playhouse, the conclusion of which you'll hear next on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a health care plan you don't like, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. They'll waive your new member fee if you join by January 15th. So that's $170 in addition to all the other savings. The typical family saves $500 or more per month. And MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. Again, join by January 15th and save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
We'll start out with a Monday Classic Radio Theater production of Jimmy Stewart as the Six-Shooter from 68 years ago, January 10th, 1954, Hiram's Gold Strike. But now the conclusion of the Screen Director's Playhouse production of Stagecoach, starring John Wayne in his original screen role, January 9th, 1949, 73 years ago today.
Apache Wells, the white man called it. Here the white squaw had her child, while the flying wagon waited while my tribesmen gathered. On the hills and on the desert gathered the Apache warriors, while the white squaw had her child and the flying wagon waited.
Oh, it makes me nervous, being held up like this in Apache country. Just when they're mad at us again.
Quiet, Buck.
Huh?
Someone's coming. Dallas?
Look, it's a little girl.
A girl.
Let me see it. Well, I'll be doggone.
That's real fine, ain't it, Dallas? Real fine.
Oh, yes, Curly, it's fine.
A baby. How? I mean, why?
I'll explain it to you sometime, Buck.
Listen, boys. Doc Boone. 3 cheers for Doc Boone. Never mind the 3 cheers. Just pour me 4 fingers instead. I'm thirsty.
Dallas?
Oh.
It's me, Ringo.
Oh.
You oughtn't to be outside here at night alone. Apaches like to pick off strays.
Well, you're here now.
Yeah, I watched you with that baby today. You look, well, nice.
I just wanted to hold it a minute.
You're visiting in Lordsburg?
I have friends there.
Oh, good.
Ringo, why don't you escape?
I aim to, in Lordsburg.
Well, why not now? Why not go over the border now?
My father and brother were shot down by the Plummer Boys. I guess you don't know how it feels to lose your folks that way.
My folks were killed by Indians when I was a kid.
Oh, well, that's tough. Well, it's a hard country, especially for a girl.
You have to live no matter what.
That's it. Look, Miss Dallas, you got no folks, neither have I. Maybe I'm crazy to ask you, but, well, I still got a ranch down across the border, and I guess I'm crazy being close to you like this, but...
Ringo, you don't know me. You don't know who I am, or...
I know I want to marry you, Dallas.
Ringo.
That ain't an answer, Dallas.
Oh. Ringo, you can't go to Lordsburg. Not now. The Plummer Boys will be 3-1 against you. You'll get killed.
Can't tell.
You can't win.
Can't run away from it either.
How can you talk about our life together when you want to throw your life away?
Well, what do you want me to do?
Get away. I'll follow you.
You mean that, Dallas?
Well, I just can't leave Mrs. Mallory and her baby now, but listen. There's a horse all saddled and ready for you in the corral.
What?
Yeah, there's a rifle in the saddle boot. Now get going. I'll come after you.
I'm counting on that, Dallas, with my life.
Goodbye, Ringo. Watch out for Apaches.
I got a rifle now, and I got you. Don't worry, Dallas. I'll be waiting. Hold it. Whoa! Hold it! Hold it, boy. Easy. Smoke signals on the ridge. Apaches. I gotta warn Dallas and the others. I gotta go back. Yeah! Yeah!
On the ridge and on the mesa smoked our Chiricahua fires. Rise, the fires told my nation. Strike the white man's flying wagon. Rise, my kinsmen, rise, Apaches, chieftains, horsemen, lances, rifles. Stagecoach on the Lordsburg Trail. Thus the signals on the mesa. Thus the writing in the sky. Thus my fierce Apache horsemen follow on the Lordsburg Trail.
We're making good time. I say we're out of danger now, thanks to Ringo here. Very decent of you to come back, Ringo.
I wouldn't be too sure we're out of danger yet, Hatfield.
We'll be in Lordsburg soon, then. Very soon. How's the baby? Sleeping. Doc told me what you did for me. Thank you very much, Dallas.
You know, danger whets my appetite. Indeed it does. Let me see. There must be a bottle of something left in this bag that...
A bullet. It just missed your head, Doc.
On the floor, Miss Mallory. Dallas, you and Miss Mallory, get down!
Apaches, hundreds of them.
Hey, Ringo!
Curly's calling you from the driver's seat, Ringo.
Here's your Winchester. Use it, man. Use it.
Thanks. Got my rifle.
Ringo, look out! That Apache on that painted pony.
Got him.
See that engine on that Mustang coming alongside?
Don't talk. Shoot!
Well, now you see him, and now you don't.
You ladies all right?
We're all right.
Now you see him, and now you don't.
Baby, all right?
Yes, baby's all right.
You gentlemen will be good enough to shoot Indians instead of...
Hatfield's been hit.
Get that Apache. I'll help Hatfield.
Got him.
Faster! Drive faster! Fire! Fire! Can't you see they're all around us?
Now, Mrs. Mallory, you'll get hurt.
Easy, Hatfield, easy.
I could use some more help up here.
Give me your pistol, Doc.
Take it.
Thanks. Look at all those engines.
Apaches all have big families.
Don't talk. Shoot.
I can't. Out of ammunition.
Oh, no. Why have Buck and Curly stopped firing outside?
Buck's hit. Curly's empty, too. This looks like it.
No, no. I have only 3 bullets left.
That's enough. Indians won't get you or Mrs. Mallory or the baby.
No. No, they won't. Listen! Get down! No, listen! It's a bugle! Listen!
It's the cavalry from Lordsburg!
The Apaches are breaking! They're running away!
Glory, glory!
How's Hatfield?
Dead. Glory, glory.
Well, good night, Ringo.
Is this where you live in Lordsburg?
I told you. I warned you. I told you didn't know me. This part of town is no place for a nice girl, but it's all right for me. Now say goodbye, Ringo. Say goodbye.
I asked you to marry me, didn't I?
I'll never forget you asked me.
Now go on back and wait for me in the stagecoach.
Where are you going?
Business. With the Plummer Boys. I'll just take a slow walk down Main Street and see what happens.
Dear Lord, this stagecoach don't pass much for a church, but I'm praying to you here. Please, Lord, it's 3-1 against Ringo out there, and the Plummer Boys are dead shots. Awful dead shots, Lord. Like I was saying, Lord, it's 2-1, Lord. He's all I got, and all I ever want. So please, dear Lord, please let me have him back. Please, please, please.
Oh, carry me back to the lone
prairie. Who's that out there? Ringo!
Yeah.
You heard?
No.
I prayed for you. I prayed.
You did good.
Let's get out of here then. Escape.
Don't have to anymore. Before he cased in, Luke Plummer confessed he killed Jed Michael.
You're free?
Yeah.
And they didn't even hurt you? Dead shots like the Plummer Boys?
Deadest dead shots you ever saw.
Oh, Ringo. Ringo.
Dallas, what are you crying for? Nothing's happened.
Thus the story of those brave men, riders of the flying wagon, in the land of Arizona, where Geronimo was chief. In the great land in the desert where the flying wagon galloped, that the white men called the stagecoach, bringing brave men to the west.
Our stars will return in just a moment. The NBC Theater has presented the Screen Directors Guild production of Stagecoach, starring John Wayne, Claire Trevor, and Ward Bond, and introduced by John Ford. And now, here again is our special guest, the president of the Screen Directors Guild, Mr. George Marshall.
The premiere production of the Screen Directors' entry into radio has now joined the Stagecoach itself in that great fund of memories known as the past. And speaking for the Guild, I'd like to express our gratitude to the National Broadcasting Company for the opportunity to better acquaint the public with the work and role of the screen director. Take it away, John Ford.
Well, how do you hardy frontiersmen like pioneering in an NBC studio instead of the Badlands of Arizona?
Very much. You know, just the memory of that dust is enough to send me running home to wash my hair.
Pappy, this is wonderful.
Wayne, wonderful? What do you mean?
Well, no getting up early in the morning and arguing with a horse.
You know, I think it's wonderful that the screen director is being honored like this. He's the fellow who really makes the movie.
Blair.
As for us actors and actresses, well...
Well, where'd we be without you, Pappy, and others like you?
That's right.
You taught us our business. That's all I can say.
Say, talking about wonderful things, it's a wonder that Pappy here hasn't yet displayed his fine, tyrannical hand.
How do you do? That's so, Ward, John. Now, look, as long as we're speaking about fine, tyrannical hands, look, are we going to do this again? Because if so, I'd like to take you folks...
Yeah, I thought so. You'd have something to say about it. We had that same trouble 10 years ago.
That's right.
Hey, can't we go out and reach...
Now, look, John, don't you remember? This is radio. There are no retakes. Good night, everybody.
Our thanks to our stars, John Wayne, Claire Trevor, and Ward Bond, and to screen directors George Marshall and John Ford. Also heard were Barbara Fuller, Peter Leeds, Horace Murphy, Norman Field, Dan Riss, Ken Carson, and Eddie Fields. Tonight's story was adapted by Milton Geiger, and original music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Production was under the supervision of Howard Wiley. Your announcer, Frank Barton. John Wayne can soon be seen in John Ford's Argosy production, Three Godfathers, and Claire Trevor appears in the soon-to-be-released Amusement Enterprises picture, The Lucky Stiff. Ward Bond is currently appearing in the Victor Fleming production, Joan of Arc. Listen again next week when the NBC Theater presents...
Screen Directors Guild assignment. Production, Let's Live a Little. Director, Richard Wallace. Star, Robert Cummings.
The only starring role I know of that John Wayne played in old-time radio, an adaptation of Stagecoach from the motion picture in 1939. This was 10 years after that, January 9th, 1949, 73 years ago. Thank you for joining us here on Classic Radio Theater. If you have not found us, our podcast home has changed. We are now located... search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, anywhere podcasts are served. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Also, you can find our podcast and a link to them, as well as our social media, by going to classicradio.stream. You can find our podcast there, and you can find out more about building a classic radio collection of your own. Just remember, please, also to thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows you to be with us each and every time we come around. Thank them, please. And tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. I'm Wyatt Cox. This is Classic Radio Theater. Have a great day right here on your favorite radio station.